Man puts on village fair, let story commence. Craig moved from the big city to a wee village. And he loved all the wee buildings and had a wee bridge and a wee rivery sort of burn thing. We call it a burn here, like a wee stream, you call it a burn. Alright? B-U-R-N. Oh, sorry, I'm saying bun, you probably got a bun? Bun? Speak properly, alright, sorry. Ben! Me and my Scottish accent. I'll say B-U-R-N properly. Ben! Burn! He just liked to be. There's a wee. It was a wee village. I actually moved to England. It's a lovely English country garden. White, you know, like pictured postcard. White. So he went there, and he put on a fair. He said, "Do you ever do any like fairs or anything? Any what? Fairs? Fair. I didn't say fair. He thought that in his head. I mean fair. Aye, fairs. It's not fair. It's fair. It's not fair. It's fair." Oh, I know, sorry, I'm Scottish. I don't apologise. I wasn't really just a wee joke. Oh, they didn't really sound like that. I said, do you ever do any wee, like, fairs or fetes or, you know, things like that? Oh, we don't, but that would be lovely. That's a great idea. Yes. Everybody was like, what did they all look like? Miss Marple, male equivalents are Miss Marple, and then all younger, right? So you had everybody was some shape or form of Miss Marple in various shapes and forms. You know what I mean? They're all like that. And he went, well, can I ask why? How no? How no? Why not? I think we did. We used to do them years ago, but it was all just people just stop doing these sorts of things, don't they? Too busy watching the television and so on. So I'll just sit in the house but that'd be lovely. I'm going to organise it. Oh, well, good luck. Michael Winner, sort of. Kind of. Everybody's So everybody either sounded like or looked like Miss Marple or Michael Winner.
We have a war
in the news, Belfast, South Africa, anything like that.
Occasions
Oh, it's Mary Whitehouse.
Behind that we have to consider our.
Everybody, Michael Winner, maker of violent films like Death Wish. Here's people looking like Rambo. Mary Whitehouse. What was it called again? She was part of the. She started something called the family. Basically, she would constantly complain about any sort of sex, violence, and drugs and things like that was on the telly. Don't say things like that flat out, please. Constantly going like, you know, like the moral standards are slipping. Mary Whitehouse. She was like a well-known 80s sort of figure.
Really the very much wider questions of why we have the violence in our society we do, and what kind of part, not the whole, nobody's going to say that the whole of the cause for violence in society is film.
Now you can be sure though, if I may say, and this is me just guessing, you can be sure though that her values, no politics please, I don't want to get all heavy here, but you can be sure that hot politics cause more violence than some fucking Rambo film. You can be sure that hot politics did more damage mentally and physically than any of these fucking films. But no politics. Let's keep it light. This is a place of entertainment. Who started this? How can we be sure? We don't need to be sure. We're post-truth.
And television. But there is no question at all.
Anyway, I'm here to listen to
It
Michael
does have a
Winner.
role. And that's the only thing
Right.
I mean, if you want to say something really violent, you watch Tom and Jerry.
Oh, get off with you.
Well said.
Michael, you've made films that have had a very strong base in violence. Is there any way...
Well said. I mean, you got the cat there. You got the mouse there, and he's dropping like a bowling ball on a cat. Now imagine you show that for real, a real cat, real mouse during the daytime. People would be horrified. What was the difference? Yeah.
Stop.
Well, of course we stop, but drama has always been about conflict. Shakespeare had people with severed heads running around the stage with severed heads on poles, and I'm sure a Mary Whitehouse clone was, outside the globe. Severed head always been about conflict.
Yes, so Village Fate.
Severed heads.
Village Fate.
Severed heads on poles, and I'm sure a Mary Whitehouse clone was, outside the Globe Theatre saying he's a terrible man. But it's summed up by a remark spoken back there by Mary Whitehouse most of
Fate, a village fair would be very fantastic. Would love that. Like that. So what Craig did was he built a big tent, and he went, right, go on in, big kind of just like that. And he went, isn't this a circus? My old fellow? No, it's kind of like part of the whole thing. Part of the whole thing. I'm Scottish. This is how we do it up there. Just sort of bring a bit of, well, you're not in Scotland anymore, sweetie. You're in England. You must integrate, you see. I know, but, we're sort of comfy somewhere, we're sort of comfy somewhere. Well, no, I'm coming from England. I know, but what, I mean, you didn't comfy like right here. Your mum and dad, like right here, this fucking spot, you've moved to like maybe 10 metres, right? So maybe 100 metres, 1,000 metres. I mean, yes, perhaps I'm missing the point. Well, listen. Why don't we have this one wee Scottish thing, right? And then I will never be Scottish again, right? Well, that sounds like a deal. So he got them on that, right? A kind of plastic sort of, kind of tarpaulin, rubbery sort of material thing. Got them on, and they were all like Michael Winner, Mary Whitehouse, and Miss Marple, and all that. And then there'd Wayne's, and the lot. Got them all packed in. Got the whole fucking lot of them packed in. There was one nice person that was really nice to him all the time. Is this the way to the village fair in here? And he went, no, it's full. It's full. You stay out just now. Oh, that's a shame. Oh well. It's a bit miserable, but I suppose you're Scottish. Just a joke. He went, actually, we do have room. And you go, oh, great. Went in. Right. Tagged all the wee thing, just so that people, couldn't get in, with it, it's free, but, tickets and things like that, it's all dead important to, to keeping a note of. But anyway, he burnt them alive. What he did was he scooshed, he had the whole thing kind of soaked in petrol and stuff like that right up at the top earlier. They thought it'd been raining, but he scooshed the whole top with kind of jet. And then he set it on fire. and they were all screaming to get out, and all the plastic was dripping on them. Have you ever set fire to... I've done this before. Have you ever set fire to a plastic kind of... what do you call the things you would sort of... Have you ever been in a supermarket and they've got a kind of plastic thing that holds like all the like rolls and stuff like that? It's like a big sort of like a... it's like a kind of pallet, but it's got kind of holes at the bottom. You know, it's like I create kind of sort of thing, but kind of like that. I set something like that alight. We used to set things like that alight when I was younger, and the plastic, see when it actually starts to burn by itself. No right away, but it just goes drip, 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 drip. Wee bits of molten fucking plastic, fiery plastic drips off like that. That was dripping down on a lot. It was raining fire. It was raining fire and it was dripping onto their fucking faces. And you had to hear... Craig was thinking to himself how he was going to explain this to people. And he was thinking, I can't wait to tell them. You had to hear the screams. You had to hear them. And it was screams for all types of people in there. And they managed to bust out, and see as they were busting out, he was fucking kicking fuck at them, man. Anybody who tried to get out, fucking kicking fuck at them. It's no TOS, it's an improv story, it's fiction. Where you're going to fucking chuck Stephen King off of Twitch. Kicking fuck at them and shoving them back in. Some of them got away, and he just got them down the ground, broke their neck, you know, like that. They're kind of near a river. One was on fire. I went, oh, I'm burning. You burning? I dragged one with the fucking hair. This old cunt. This old guy. Dragged him by the hair into the fucking river. Drowned him in there. Honestly. And during the whole time, because it was so sadistic, Craig was in quite an excited state, shall we say. Quite an excited state. Because it was so sadistic. That's all I'm going to say. He was in quite a excited state. And then when it was all done and they were all dead, he went away and relieved himself from his excitement. The end. The end. Thank you. That's actually an improv story. It's an improvised work of fiction. English hatred running wild. What are you fucking on about? This is fiction. This is fiction. We're banning books now. Is that well done now? We're banning books. Okay. I knew we'd get here. We're banning books now. Okay. But it wasn't a book. We're banning fiction. We're banning fiction. It's a work of horror. It's horror. What he did was awful. Just awful.